Hello, friends. Welcome back to Medical Billers Network Live. Jasmine here. I'm always feeling like my hair is lopsided on this particular camera. Maybe it's me and not my hair. Maybe my head's on crooked today. I hope you guys are having a beautiful start to your day. Well, it's probably midway through, at least for some of us. So hope your day's going well and that you're having a nice little landslide into the weekend. Today is Friday Eve here on the East Coast, if you're not on the East Coast. So we're wrapping up the last day before our weekend. Anyone doing anything interesting this weekend? When you get here, say hello. Let me know that you're here. Tell me in the comments. Today's question of the day is, what is the newest billing term or acronym that you've learned? What's the newest billing term or acronym that you have learned? I don't really know okay, maybe it was from our last live stream. Somebody put in, I think it was Gem, him. I don't remember. It wasn't Jim, because that was general equivalency mapping. I don't remember I don't remember. It's gone already. Whatever it was, we talked about it it was REM actually, and I thought it was like REM cycle, and I don't think we ever determined exactly what the best, the correct, we'll call it the correct acronym is. I feel like it's all relative depending on what specialty you're in. So if you are new here, hello, I'm happy that you're here. This is our live stream that we do every Thursday. Thursdays right now have been moved to 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're just catching us for the first time, hello. This is the Medical Billers Network Live. This is the space where we talk to our billers in the world, or those who are aspiring to become billers, or those who are just kind of curious what the heck goes on in the business of healthcare, and specifically the billing side. So today, when you get in the house, let me know you are here. Drop something in the comments. Ooh, this is a good one. Hi, Ramona. I don't know this one. Units of measurements, UOM. I mean, I know unit of measurement. I've never heard of UOM as the acronym for that. So yeah, totally. Okay. And I don't have a ton of experience in oncology either. So maybe that's what it is. I guess if you maybe aren't working a lot with units of measurements, then maybe you don't need it. So thanks for sharing that. That's a really good one, because I had never heard of that either. Welcome, my dear. Great to see you. All right. So as you guys get in here, drop in the comments. Let me know. We just said Ramona just shared the latest acronym or abbreviation that she has learned. So when you get in the house, let me know yours. Say hello. And with that said, I'm going to quickly do my little presentation that I do when we start, and it's thinking about it. There it is. Okay. All right. Hopefully that wasn't my connection delay there. All right. So this week we're back to talking, learn to speak like a medical biller, like a medical billing pro. This is the second part. We had a first discussion live on here. What is this? YouTube? On YouTube, on all the streaming places. About I don't know, maybe it was a month or two ago now. So if you're looking for part one, it was really fun. It was our first time doing a discussion of like terms and abbreviations here live, and I thought it was pretty great. You guys had some really fun terms that came up, and everyone kind of got it. We'll call it like semi-trivia. So if you're here, hang out with us, because I'd love to have you guys interface and interact. If you know these, get your little fire fingers ready, because you'll have to be able to type well, or voice recognition and preview or review your voice recognition. I almost always forget to double check mine, and I send funny messages out all the time. So if you're like me, I accept you, and that's totally fine, but we'll probably need you to decipher it later. All right, so next, last week we talked about how to get hired. Nicole and I were on. We had a really fun discussion around hiring. It was a part of our series, again, a second part to a getting hired series. So that was a really great discussion. Before that, we had a 2-part billing mastery discussion. It was two back-to-back. So how to become a medical billing master was that discussion. So you'll want to visit the live, whatever that's called, live category on the YouTube home screen is where you'll see all of those kind of in chronological order. And then also you can, just pop in and search whichever one you'd like to look into right there on that search bar. So today we have some updates to our sheet here, our presentation here. So if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell. When you do that, YouTube sends you a little ding when we go live. And you won't forget that we're live, because I forget things and forget the time and stuff like that. And as we put our heads down and do our billing work, it's easy to do that. So this will give you an opportunity to free up your brain and make sure YouTube gets put to work. So hit that button. And if you are watching on any of the spaces and places right now, please give us a little like or a thumbs up, however that looks, a heart, however it looks on your screen. You want to give it positive feedback, because all the powers in the blogosphere like that kind of interaction, and it helps to make sure our content stays relevant to people who like you. So other thing that's on the screen is a QR code that Nicole has so graciously added for us. If you're watching this from your computer or any other device, you can scan this with your phone, scan that QR code in the top left corner, and it will take you to our links page. We'll also always put the links here inside of our description after the video as well. But we have all of this stuff on there on the links page, and then all of the other social ways that we can stay connected. If you did not know, we are on other places and platforms depending on your favorite spaces and places. You can pick that one and hang out with us on there. We're going to start doing a lot more on some of the other platforms as well. So if you are not already connected to us on there, you can go ahead and do all the things that get you connected, whether it's a connection request or a follow or a like or whatever that is. So yeah, stay tuned for more interfacing Q&A fun stuff on Instagram specifically. Yeah, cool. All right, my friends, let me know if that worked for you too. All right, our solution. So who we are, how you can work with us. We are Inlera University here on YouTube, but we also have Inlera, which is a billing company. We also offer consulting services. So what you're experiencing here on YouTube is obviously free content. So content that gets you into the billing world and plugged into what happens on the business of healthcare specifically. Today, we're talking medical billing. But if you are at all interested in getting connected with us more deeply into education, we do provide more structured education as well. Let's get learning. So my friends, there we go. All right. So my friends, last time we spoke, we just kind of started talking through some of the most commonly used abbreviations. And today I'm going to go through a number of others, and some that may be good review for you, or maybe you, have some ones that like it means something totally different to you. And I'd love to know that, because from us, on the billing side, if you've come in from, let's say, the clinical area, and you're now trying to enter into the business side of healthcare, it can be a totally different environment. So you might be coming in from a different area, even in healthcare, and seeing an acronym that you thought you had correct, and something new. So today we're gonna run through a few of those, and as we go through them, I want you to try to activate your fire fingers and see if you can guess what you think is the correct definition and or meaning of the actual term or abbreviation that we're going to go over today. So first thing is hopefully an easy one for my folks who are billers in the house, and that is CPT. CPT. What is CPT? What does it stand for? I guess let me back up while you guys are guessing your CPT, and I'm going to quickly break down why we're even doing this today. So first of all, it's super helpful for anybody who's in the business of healthcare. We are in a very busy industry that there's always stuff going on, lots and lots happening, and there's typically a shortage of time and plenty of things to do. And so we often will find the fastest way to get our problems solved. And sometimes that's even communicating things faster to ourselves, in our documentation, to the insurance carriers. So we use a lot of acronyms and abbreviations. So if you're coming into this industry, you might be head spinning, completely confused when we speak, because it can feel like Greek when we throw these terms out, for example, CPT. But we have Ramona in the house who knows what it is. So current procedural terminology. Other thing to know is if you are looking to get certified, whether it's in coding or billing, it's something that is going to be valuable for you, because often there are not just the terms that are directly quizzed or tested, excuse me, on the exams, you will also sometimes have other questions that are presented utilizing the acronyms or the abbreviations. And so that could pose a problem if you don't even know what the heck it means, right? So, so if it's like, which CPT codes are representing an E&M code, you would have no idea what CPT even means if you aren't sure. So speaking of that, current procedural terminology, CPT, those are the procedure codes, the services that we are billing on our claims, very commonly utilized on the commercial claims side and a lot of other government payers as well. Even our workers' compensation and auto insurance carriers these days, folks that are billing for accident treatment, also acknowledge CPT codes. They are standardized to 5 digits. So it's really important to know that standardized to 5 digits, meaning 5 numbers, always numerical values. If ever you see a digit, characters, I'm not going to say, if you ever you see characters that start with alphabets, an alphabetic letter, then followed by 4 digits, what would that be in lieu of a CPT code? What is the alphabetic character at the front end followed by 4 numerical characters? What is that represented? What does that represent? I have to give you guys a disclaimer. I was on vacation, like a little mini vacation, and I got a little bug. So you're getting me kind of like with a slightly broken, sleepy mouth. So I apologize if you're noticing that. Ramona, yes. So yes, HCPCS, also procedure codes, most often used by Medicare. They were determined originally to only be Medicare use codes, and then other kind of temporary codes that are utilized as well. However, there's a lot of carriers who follow Medicare guidelines that have now adopted the use of certain HCPCS codes. So HCPCS are also procedure codes. However, the number one differentiator is the numerical value at the front end, or the alphabetical value at the front end of the HCPCS, and followed by the 4 characters, versus CPT is always 5 digits long. All right, 5 digits long. So it's very, very important to understand that that's the main differentiator. And you can always tell a HCPCS code because there are letters involved. If you are looking at only numbers, you're likely looking at CPT code, and that CPT code is something. And when I say that, I mean specifically 5 digits being the standard, because we're not talking about diagnoses at all, which now vary. There used to be a little bit more of a standardization with diagnoses codes, and now we can add multiple digits at the back end of that, multiple characters in the back end of those codes that change the codes themselves. All right, so very good. All right, my friends. Okay, moving on. Oh, yes, HCPCS. So thank you for this. Let me pop that in there. Healthcare Common Procedural Coding System. That is what HCPCS stands for. We talked about that last session, so I didn't go too far in depth about it. Those of you, and I believe last time I mentioned this, but just in case, those of you who are into the Brainiac book definition, HCPCS is the system. The entire system for codes, for procedure codes, is HCPCS. Level 2 of HCPCS is CPT. Level 3 of HCPCS are those temporary codes that we were just talking about. There's a lot of fun fine print when you look at it from a book perspective, a textbook perspective. Not as useful on the ground. We don't necessarily care that CPT is level 2 of HCPCS, but it is good information for you to know, because whenever you're looking to get certified, sometimes they throw you those curveballs and they ask you questions that we don't really care about on the job, but you care about on the test. So very, very important to know that. All right, next question. Hopefully an easy one for my billers in the house. DED. Oops. Sorry, there was something. DED. What is DED? Very good. Deductible. What is a deductible? What is a deductible? I like the emoji. Can anyone give me a short definition for what a deductible is? Like it. These are good. Yeah. Hi, Osama. Facebook user, hello. Okay, yes. Patient portion before insurance. Yes, the amount a patient must pay before the insurance considers. Yep, that's right. That's right. Very good. I love it. Yes. So, yes, deductible amounts are the amounts, and I'm going to pop up the DED up there just so that you guys see it. So, the deductible, the DED, is the amount that the insurance company determines, typically plan year or annually, that the patient must pay before the insurance will start to pay. Now, very important to know this, that a deductible is not something that is paid directly from the patient that goes to the insurance company. We have so much confusion from folks who are not directly in the business of healthcare that get very confused with the concept of deductible being that the patient pays it to the doctor's office and then the doctor's office gives it to the insurance company. That's not how it works, right? And I know my folks who are billers here already know this, but just to make sure, for the sake of clarity, my folks who are new-ish to healthcare, the deductible amount is a set amount determined by the insurance carrier, but it's paid by the patient to those providers' offices for up to the amount of the services that provider's office is rendering. Okay. So for example, if the patient's deductible says it's $1,000 for that plan year, and that's a low deductible I just threw out there, but just for the sake of easy numbers, if it's $1,000 for that particular plan year or calendar year, and they go to see a doctor where the service that is billed has an allowed amount of $200, the patient is not required to pay the $1,000. They're only required to pay up to the exact allowed amount for that particular provider. Okay. So really important to know that deductible is not just like, here, stroke a check for $1,000 to your doctors, and then the doctor gives it to the insurance. Not how that works. This is why a lot of people do not collect the deductibles up front, because it's often confusing about exactly the amount. I recommend that if you know your allowed amounts and you have the ability to do it, you collect something towards it, because most people really would prefer to know on the front end how much it might cost them. Most of us going in as patients would prefer to know that that is going to be about $200 versus getting the bill in the mail that says $200. It's just better for everybody. So if you can inform your patients on the front end, give them the option to pay towards it, great. And it also means that you have more of a likelihood to collect that amount. You absolutely can collect towards a patient's deductible or to the dollar amount. Some people think that there are limitations or rules against you collecting towards a deductible before the claim is processed. That is not the case. You do not need to wait to bill the patient for their deductible after the claim. Most people, it has become a practice because most people have trouble calculating the deductible or don't really keep track of the deductible information, the allowed amount information. So great. Oh, and Nicole put a little note in for me that our latest video explains the deductible. So you could pop in. We have, I think, a short on here on YouTube that explains the deductible, or maybe it's also a video. I don't know. It's a video. Nicole's nodding, so it's a video. There we go. Okay. Yes, a video. Okay, cool. So watch that. That will hopefully help you understand a lot more about a deductible. That it's one of the most confusing concepts for our folks in the healthcare industry, especially people that are brand new to healthcare. So it's really important that if you are an experienced biller, you start to really understand it more deeply so you can communicate how it works to your patients, because so many people have these really massive deductibles these days, and they are not sure exactly how it actually works. It's like, I've signed on for an $8,000 deductible on my insurance plan, and I don't really know what that means, because there are some care, for example, our annual physicals, that aren't included in most people's deductibles, right? And I'll say it should be all deductibles, but I know I've heard of some plans that have some weird underwriting, but those should be waived where the deductible is not counted for someone who's going in for an annual physical. So a preventative annual physical. When there's a problem visit, that's a whole other thing. That's what also makes sense is makes problems is that when our providers don't know how to properly code their visits, it can impact the way the claim gets processed. So the patient came in for an annual physical, but the doctor now has written a problem diagnosis or a diagnosis that says this patient has some kind of illness that they're faced with, and then they code a procedure code associated with that as well. Then the insurance company counts the deductible and it can mess things up for our claim processing. All right, moving on. This one we know very intimately, DOB. What is a DOB? DOB, as a matter of fact, I think there was a short on this one actually, or maybe it's coming out. Okay, I remember seeing that as like a video to review or something. DOB. Fire fingers ready. Yes. Ramona, you got some fast fingers. Date of birth. Nice. Yes. Okay. Date of birth. Billers, we care about the date of birth for a lot of reasons. Number one, if you are reaching out to insurance, if you are calling your referral, you're referring providers' offices, you're typically going to be identifying your patient with their name and their date of birth, right? To make sure we have the correct person. It also is a way for us to verify a patient's identity when they call. So you want, or if someone is calling about something on their account, you're going to want to verify their identity by asking their name and their date of birth. Yes, yes. And hi, Linda. Good to see you. And here we go. We've got Osama with a really great tip there. It also, when you have the right date of birth that you have made sure is accurate in your system, you can avoid rejection. That is so true. My folks who are doing things related to data capture, that the initial inputting of the patient's information, their name and their date of birth and demographic information, that information can be verified by just logging into the insurance carrier system or pulling your RTE, which I'm throwing out there right now. RTE. What is an RTE? You could throw out your RTE. I'll let someone answer that before I say what an RTE is. And if you do an RTE, you will get an opportunity for a confirmation that you have the right patient's ID, name, date of birth. So your claim has a better likelihood of being accepted the first time around. Yay, RTE, real-time eligibility. That is right. So the moment you plug that person's information in, if you have your system set up and you have RTE, you can literally hit a button. For most carriers will say these days, not all of them, but most carriers, if you have RTE enabled, it will pull back at least confirmation that this person's plan is active. Most of our offices that I've interfaced with over the years have been like, oh, we don't get accurate information from that. And we don't, as far as what their benefits are, like that is really not the sole purpose of RTE. The primary purpose is the eligibility piece, which is not the same as insurance benefits checking. Being super clear about that. When we talk about checking or verifying patients' benefits, it's a different process from verifying eligibility. Eligibility is very simply, are they eligible for care? Is their plan active? Is their information correct, right? Very different than, will the insurance company pay for X benefit? Okay. So when offices are telling me, oh, it's not really, we had it before, but it didn't really add value. And I'm like, it adds value. The biggest value RTE adds is preventing rejections based off of inaccurately input information or provided information. Like often patients will pull out cards from their wallet and maybe they're in a rush. Maybe their kids are crying over there in the waiting room, and they are trying to get in to see the doctor, and they've given you a card that was for last year or the year before, right? And you will definitely want to verify the insurance for benefits, but just in the bare minimum, you could plug that information in the system or get that information from your patient's portal with the patient putting that in themselves, and you can run RTE before the patient even goes back to patient. to the provider. So RTE is very, very valuable. So we've already got our DOB. And if we didn't get any of that right, we didn't get the benefits done right, or something came back wrong, we get a potential DOD. What does DOD mean? DOD. I tried to make that connection. It didn't really make sense, but basically you end up getting something that has a DOD on it. What is DOD? Anybody? DOD, as in David. Nobody knows DOD? Let me pop it on the screen. DOD. Not the Department of Defense. Anybody? If you are an accounts receivable follow-up team member and documenting a lot, I imagine, know this. I like it. I like your guess. Division of Donuts. A hint. Oh, someone wants a hint. Okay. So if you have submitted a claim and something has come back from the insurance carrier that says they will not pay this claim, it includes good guess. Good guess. That is not, that's not the right thing, but I like it. Decision of denial. Very good. These are really good guesses. No, it's even simpler, but you guys have so Linda has the closest guess. It's technically a combination of Ramona's and Linda's. And even Christy, you put date of death as well. It's a combination of, so DOD is some giving combination of Ramona's and Linda's. Anybody? DOD. All right, I'll give it to you. Date of denial. Date of denial. The date of denial. And it could also sometimes be the determination of the denial. I've seen people refer to that as if the final determination, of a, denial was X. However, DOD is commonly how people document the denial that they received, or information about the denial that they received, in order to take action, right? So if you were saying, the date of an EOB or the date of a denial, instead of writing that whole phrase out, you would put DOD 9/28/2023, that, stating X was the reason for the denial. Yeah, love it. Hi, Rebecca. Great to see you. Great to see you. So I like Linda. Linda's like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, so, we're always about time saving. Always about time saving. Do I have any hospital billers in the house today? Yeah, exactly. Most people we all think it is more complicated. Think about it from this perspective. Most of the people who are entering information that are listing DOD in there is because they are really focused on the follow-up that's going to take place. So we're trying to shave back all the time that we're going to spend by typing, we received an EOB dated blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, DOD, data denial dated X date, right? So it's definitely a time saver. And most of us, don't feel bad, Linda. Most of us are always thinking a little bit more complicated. All right. So any hospital billers in the house with me today? Just curious, because the next is something that more hospital billers will know more than everyone else. DRG. DRG. Oop. DRG. DRGs are so boring. Just saying that. Yes. Okay, close, Osama. Your guess was very, very close, but Ramona hit it spot on. Diagnosis-related group. Yes. For my folks who are not familiar with DRG, it is a very common practice for hospital systems when billing hospital services. All right. They basically are arranging their diagnoses and trying to allocate the resources for the care that was provided in the hospital itself. So we're not talking about the physician portion of that, right? Not the physician's services, but the hospital resources that were provided. All right. I like it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love that you know it, because if you guys have ever sat for the CPB certification, DRG is often placed on that. Even though a lot of us are doing physician billing, it's important for us to be familiar. And if you're thinking about crossing over, you might work at the hospital, do something, temporarily working at the hospital. You got to understand a little bit more about the DRGs and how they work. All right, I got another one that's a little bit more specialty specific. DSM. 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 And then maybe you could mention what it's used for, if you know. What does it stand for and what is it used for? Anybody? Oh, I thought I shared it on the screen. Sorry. DSM. No. I love that. My psych professor would be so disappointed. I can't remember. Yep. You've got the right thing there. Psychs. Yes. Psychiatric. I know it has to do with mental health. I love it. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Mental disorders. That's right. So it stands for Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. So it is basically almost its own diagnostic resource for folks that are in mental health or psychiatrists. It's often in addition to our typical ICDs that we are accustomed to as billers, but DCM is really important, especially folks who are doing a lot of authorizations and for the documentation as well. So let me see. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I love it. Linda's so funny. But yes, DSM is Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. So there's a little and in there that is it's hidden away. So it's important to know that, though, because also something that is on our tests sometimes. So here we go. Oh, I like it. A handbook used by healthcare professionals in the U.S., an authoritative guide for, and it doesn't say that, mental disorders. So, there we go. I like it. Thank you for that. I'm getting a little pop-up. Am I still, am I coming in clearly? Yeah, okay. Does anyone know what that's from, that reference? Am I coming in clear? All right. EDI. EDI is our next. We'll go over 3 more today. EDI. EDI. I hope you know what EDI means. We're back into our normal, I'll say, more consistent billing terms, ones that impact all of us, the general ones. EDI. I should have these like. Yep, so close, very close, very, very close. Electronic date interface is what we're going to put in there. Very close. EDI. Anyone else want to go with the guess? Yep. Very, very, very close, Ramona, but very, very close. Electronic date interface is what Ramona had. Very good. Electronic data interchange. So yes, thinking electronic, we're talking about bringing things forward in technology, in healthcare with technology. So we're trying to get things electronically done, and we're doing this with the data, right? We're getting the information, trying to send it somewhat to someone and bring some information back. That's the interchange part, right? So that help you stick it in your mind is the information that we have that we want to get to the insurance carriers, and what they have that they want to get to us, it's data, that information, and we are trying to interchange it. Okay. And we're trying to do that by leveraging technology. So EDI is the kind of structure that we're built around in healthcare for most carriers these days. We're doing things electronically and we're transmitting information via EDI. So for example, what I mentioned earlier with RTE, that's a type of EDI. It's someone help me, I think it's a 277 transaction. I forget which is our ANSI transactions that go to the carrier, and it fires off a response that tells us the person's eligibility, right? That's the EDI, the electronic data interchange. When we send our claims, same thing. We're sending those electronically. It's an interchange, an interface that sends that information to them. And we call back, hopefully, our payer responses, meaning like the results of that, whether it was accepted or rejected. And we call back our ERAs as well. Okay. So we've got the EDI, the electronic data interchange. And let me see. Well, EFT is our next one. EFT. Another E. EFT. What does EFT stand for? Yeah, love it. That was hopefully an easy one for you guys. Electronic funds transfers, not to be confused with, no, it is the same thing. ACH and EFT, synonymous. Direct deposit, synonymous. They all mean the same thing. We just like to use different information for whatever reason. So hi, Arlene. Hello, Belinda. Yay. Hello. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for playing along. Awesome. Yeah. So EFT, that is our direct deposit. That's the way that we hopefully are getting paid from our insurance carriers on our claims. I've been getting a lot of questions around, is that the same as the credit cards that come from the insurance carriers? It is not the same. Those are often called or referred to as virtual payments. Those are virtual credit cards. They send you credit card information. You have to input that into your credit card processing tool, whatever that particular module is for you. And that runs like a credit card transaction, which means it has credit card fees and so on associated with it. EFTs or ACHs, direct deposits, those directly go into your bank. So you don't have to pay a fee. You typically don't have to do anything, which means you're not investing time. So we vote EFT over those virtual pays any day. And people ask if it's worth it if you have to pay for it. I would say most cases, yes, it's going to be less to pay for your EFT deposits. Not only is it time saving because you're not processing the credit cards and keeping track of all of that mumbo jumbo, the paper that they're sending to you and by fax or mail and all of that. But also it's something you don't have to touch, right? You're saving yourself time. It's often less expensive to pay those companies for their ACH or EFTs over the credit card processing fees. So I would always vote to go ahead and pay if there's a fee associated. Most companies don't charge, but there are a lot of small third-party administrators these days, these smaller insurance companies that they are attaching to a larger company to be able to service your account and pay you electronically. So what they do and why they do those virtual pays is they send you the information, this third-party company your payment, and then that company manages all of the electronic minutia of it. They, will send it to you and make sure you process it. The accounts receivable associated with that is a pain in the butt, right? It's just like if they were to send you a check in the mail and you took like weeks and weeks to process, to deposit it into the bank, it is an accounting nightmare for insurance carriers. So they've tried to mitigate that by removing that from the equation, and they send this money to a company that manages it for them, and they pay you on the virtual pay, which is why you have a lot of these other companies' names out there that are not the direct the insurance company direct, because they are kind of like finance companies, right? They hold the money for those claims, and then they pay you. And if you don't deposit or process those payments, they just hang on to it and rack up interest on it, basically. So it's a good day for them because most people take a long time to process credit card, those virtual pay transactions. So, but yeah, so EFT, love it. All right, next, 2 parts. And this is our last one today, 2 parts, EHR and EMR. EHR and EMR. And I probably shouldn't put this on the same line. But EHR and EMR. What does EHR and EMR mean? Or what do they mean? Yeah, love it. Hi, Alicia. Great to see you. Love it. Yay. All right. So what are the differences between EHR? Are there any differences between EHR and EMR? Pardon me for drinking so much today, guys, but I'm still trying to get over this little bug. What's the difference between EHR and EMR? Way to go. You can give me one primary difference. One primary difference. Does anyone know if there is a difference? Do you think there is a difference? This is a fun little book smart trivia for you guys. No one's saying anything. How about if you don't know what the difference is, you could just give me a yes or no. Is there a difference? Yes? No? Is there a difference between what an EHR and an EMR is? All right. Yes, there's a difference. Linda says, yes. Yes. I love it. Oh, I just clicked over the no difference. Someone said no difference. Alicia, I have no clue. I just started. Very honest. I love that, Alicia. That's awesome. Congratulations on starting medical coding. That's amazing. Belinda says, yes, we've got a no. We've got Ramona with not sure. One more technical, general health record has specifics. Okay, that's good. Yes, I don't know why. I love this. I love this. All right, so here's some trivia. So if there's ever a trivia party that you go to and they ask this question, you'll know the answer. If anybody's talking healthcare stuff. All right, so EMR was around before EHR. EMR is the medical record itself, the patient's medical record. EHR is the addition of us being able to have a patient's health record, meaning the whole patient being considered, that can be moved with them place to place. So that is where the interchange piece, or the electronic, that the interchangeability of that information, right? So when we talk about our patients having the ability to log on to their own health record, that ultimately the goal with the EHR is that all of the providers in that network, the idea was originally that these companies are built on a specific platform with specific coding, right? That is when we first saw the entrance of EHRs. They all had these specifications, these specific rules that they had to follow, that they need to provide a structure that can be mapped, that can be connected to by a bigger health network. All right. And that is the concept of EHR. Is I have an EMR, I have a software in my office as a provider that just stays in my office. EHR is something that can be connected to a bigger network. May not necessarily have happened yet with that software, but if the system is certified as an EHR, it's possible. The code is there and it's possible. Whether or not it actually happens and the patient has the ability for it to be transferred to other providers electronically within the EHR network is a whole other topic of discussion. But if it is a certified EHR, the coding, meaning the way the system is built, is there. All right. So it's very important to understand, yes, it needs to be, yeah, exactly. You're able to share that information, right? So you're able to now not just have that EMR print a record, print a document that stays only in your practice. Instead, it can be something that now is connected to a patient's bigger record. And now this patient can log in and see all of their provider's office's medical records, the EMR, they can see the medical records under their One Health login. All right. So that is why EHR was created. That's why all the money was thrown into it, because the goal at the end of the day is to have a place that the patient is, as a whole, is represented, all of their providers, their specialists, all of that. So they could plug in and say, I want Dr. Jane Doe to see Dr. Joe's information, so that now all of me is considered, all of the providers I've seen, not just the people that I happen to have copies of the medical records on file myself, or that have the ability to send them to you by fax or other places. So EMR and EHR are not the same. They are very, very different. So with that said, I'm getting alert again for my connection. Hopefully it wasn't bad today. But we're going to wrap up today. I am excited that you guys played along. Thank you for hanging out. We are here every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Next week is trivia. So if you played today, we are on next Thursday, 2 p.m., and it's actually trivia. So you get a chance to win some money. If you've never played trivia with us, there are 2 gift cards we give away for first place and second place. So if you're hanging around with us next Thursday, I don't remember at the moment what the topic is, but you'll see some announcements from us. Nicole will bug us for that. So and make sure everybody knows. So yes, you're welcome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Thursday. I'll be the one. Okay, Nicole, wait, it's sending me. Let's see. Yes, it's actually the front end of the revenue cycle. So it's where we're talking about some of the things we chatted about today, eligibility and all these other things. So hopefully you guys found that valuable, and you can hang out with us next week. You're welcome. Yes, maybe you can vote for that. Vote for that. Put it in the Facebook group. If you guys aren't a part of the Facebook group already, pop into there and put what you want in the Facebook group, because I'm curious. That was a question about, am I able to change the time? Thank you, Arlene. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, I love it. Okay, Nicole's asking. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Yay, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, Alicia. It's great to see you out here. All right, my friends, if you write back on this comment that Nicole just put in, it'll come through in our description, our comments, and all that. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold up. Nicole is telling me. Nicole, at the end of the stream, can we apologize? Oh, there's something wrong with our main page Facebook. And so we apologize for that connection issue. And and I'm sorry, I'm supposed to also mention, we have the last call of the year for Zoom for Medical Billers Meetup. So if you have never joined our Medical Billers Meetup, it is a live Zoom. It's a Zoom. So it's live. We are on a Zoom together. We talk through stuff. We're problem solving. We're answering questions. We're doing all kinds of fun stuff, hanging out together as medical billers, creating our own network of support. And Nicole is going to, Nicole is going to be, and I messed up that reminder. We have too many acronyms. We do. So Medical Billers Meetup is happening before the end of the year. And also what I mentioned earlier, we have Mastering Medical Billing. The October 9th is our start date for that. Yeah, October 9th is the start date for that. So if you are interested in learning medical billing with moi, you can pop over to the links page or send us any questions that you might have, and we'd be happy to answer those for you. And I will definitely be getting off now, I think. All right, my friends, thank you for your time. Bye, you guys. Take care.